Hi everyone, and welcome to our second installment of RISE Ruang. As we mentioned in the first pilot episode, we have a live audience in the room. So thank you for being in the room. Everyone, give yourselves a round of applause. My name is Caleb, and I'll be hosting the conversation today. If you missed the first episode, the pilot episode with our founder, Mr. David Ong, please do click the link and go and watch it. It's a great conversation, very engaging, and you will have a good time. But today, we have the honor and pleasure of having with us our OP right here in Reapfield, powered by KW Malaysia, Christine Ong. So give it up for Christine, everyone.
Thank you.
Christine, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Excited for today?
I guess so.
It's going to be a good conversation. I normally have a bit of an icebreaker question that I ask the speakers, and the question is, if you could choose a book that you would say, that's my favorite book, and a book that has impacted my life, left a bit of a dent on my life, what would it be and why? So Christine, go for it.
Wow, okay. And Caleb also has asked if I could bring the book over, but unfortunately, I could not find the physical book.
That's okay.
But I have an e-copy of it.
Yeah.
So one of the books that has really, I would say, maybe journeyed with me is this book called Fail Forward by John C. Maxwell. Some of y'all might be familiar with it. It is a book that I have read a couple of times, and it also has proven to be very useful, encouraging in different seasons of my life. Because I think that failure is a very much part of our lives, and being, having gone through, quite a few different tough and challenging situations myself. I have felt that whatever that has written in the book has taught me, given me a different perspective on how I view failures, right? That at the end of the day, failure actually is not a negative word.
Sure.
But failing forward, how that can redefine how I view life.
Yeah, great. That's wonderful. And failure is a part of life. And I'm sure that especially in the negotiator's journey, failure is part and parcel of the journey of learning and getting better. So that's really wonderful. Christine, how long have you been with Reapfield? Sounds like a bit of an odd question, but how long have you been in Reapfield, and where did the journey start for you?
I would like to say as long as I have been here on earth, because people usually know me as the founder's daughter.
Yeah.
But realistically speaking, has been about maybe 12 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 years. I think it's about that. And Caleb has asked me before, like, how do you start?
Yeah.
Where do you start from? And I proudly told him that actually I started being an admin person. So I was one of the market center support staff back then, although at that time we were not called market center support staff, we were just called an admin person. And pretty much where I sat was exactly in this exact space that we are doing the recording, because this exact space used to be a space not only for the admin, but also there were hot desks for agents as well. Of course, right now it's been transformed to a training center that we so proudly use. But that is where exactly I started.
That's wonderful. That's, in the first episode where we spoke with David, we found out that the starting point for him of, starting Reapfield was selling crabs. And if you missed that, go and watch the episode. It's an interesting story. But today we find out that Christine started with the MCS, and we love our MCS. So what a great journey. You've been around literally since day one, whether officially, unofficially. What are some changes that you have seen or observed through the 40 years, I suppose?
Wow, okay. Thanks for revealing my age.
It's actually Reapfield's age, but okay.
Oh yeah, no, Reapfield is older. Slightly older.
Slightly older,
yeah,
you're right.
Slightly older, right, yeah. I think a lot has changed. I think that obviously people come and go. So that has been a change. I think even the way we do business has changed over the years, because market has changed as well. So I think as market change, as the world also changes, the business is also in that sense forced to change along the way and pivot. And of course, in the recent times with COVID, with us Malaysia being on a lockdown for very, very long, longer than most countries, right? I think
Yeah.
the way we do business has changed. And technology coming in, AI right now,
Yeah.
right? So I think that these are some of the changes that I have seen. I think even in the area of culture, I think that has changed as well. I think that along the way, the company has learned to redefine what culture really looks like.
Yeah.
And we believe that culture is a very important and aspect and part of the business. So we're learning along the way as we meet different ones, as we go through different ups and downs,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Different challenges. That has also changed along the way.
Yeah, change, I suppose, is inevitable, and it happens, and it affects everyone in the different phases and journeys, and different people deal with it very differently. One significant change, I suppose, for us as Reapfield is in 2019, we came under the umbrella of the incredible KW family.
That's right.
So you were around with that change and that transition. So you want to walk us through a bit of the thought process. How has that arrangement or that partnership really helped us and has grown us a bit as a company?
Right, great question. So I think back then, business, it's business as usual. But one of the things that was very strongly in the heart of the founder is that, hey, you know what? We need to grow. We need to continue to grow. But being in business for so long, sometimes you kind of hit a certain plateau whereby you have the desire to grow, but you are not sure how. Right? So then the question was like, how do we grow? What do we do? But the bigger question was more on like, who can we leverage on?
Yeah.
Right? Especially in that time and season whereby technology was really an in thing, a trend, and businesses were innovating through technology. There were a lot of disruptions that were coming into the real estate industry,
Yeah.
whereby it's like, hey, we've got this system, and that could potentially replace agents, for example, right? So these were really real things that was happening. But at the same time, we knew that, real estate is still a business to stay. So the question is, if we want to pivot, if we want to change, how do we do that? And how do we grow? Then the founder, David, remembered that many, many years back, he once visited Keller Williams.
Wow.
But back then, KW was not ready to expand worldwide. So even though there was a conversation on a potential, like how can KW be seen across the world, at that time, they were not prepared yet.
Yeah.
But that was a good experience for the founder and a team of people that he brought with to learn from Keller Williams,
Yeah.
who at that time was also a very fast-moving company in the US, right? So when he remembered that, he said, hey, why don't let us explore? Let
Sure.
us explore again. And I think from that day forth, everything just seemed to fall in place.
Right.
We connected with them. We shoot them an email. JP contacted us. We had a conversation. We went to their family reunion for the very first
Fantastic.
time. Experience what it's like to be part of a global company. Also visited different Keller Williams offices.
Yeah.
And we saw and resonated with whatever that they have built and even their future plans, right?
Yeah.
So it was a no-brainer. We felt that, hey, you know what? This would be the company to leverage on and to be in partners with, and thus begin the journey, of being in partnership with Keller Williams.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And it's a saying that the only constant in life is change. That life does change and does move on. And but change for change's sake is pointless. And so we don't that's definitely not what we believe in and who we are. We don't change for the sake of it. So the partnership, I suppose, really brought that synergy and the ability to take us to where we want to be, ought to be, and desire to be. So that's wonderful. Along the lines of change, through the years, you've seen people come and go, and that's part of movement and transitions, and that's fine. How would an existing Ren who's been here for a couple of seasons in life, how would they continuously find their place in an environment that's probably a bit different from where they were a few years ago? What would you say?
That's an interesting question. I think for them, they would also, of course, being with Reapfield for a couple of seasons, that would mean that they would have been a part of the company's growth for many years, right? I think for them, they would have personally felt that they also had to change in the way that they do business.
Yeah.
But I personally feel that most people who stay really long
Yeah.
in with the company, and we've have actually quite a number of them, and
Yeah.
some of them are also in the audience.
Yeah.
Very privileged to have them
Yeah.
in the audience. I think one of the main reasons that they would have stayed was because of the culture
Right.
that has been consistent, right? So although we have changed systems, we have changed partnerships, we have changed in the way we do business.
Yeah.
But perhaps I would like to say that one of the things that has remained consistent is the kind of culture and the kind of values that the company has tried to build over the years,
Yeah.
that has laid a certain foundation and stability for agents to do their business.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And I think we can see that permeate across the organization. How about a new Ren? A new Ren who says, I am looking forward to coming on this journey with Reapfield. What do they have to look forward to sort of anticipate on their journey?
I think that Reapfield has a lot to offer. We have been in the industry for, I would say, 41 years now. We celebrated 40 years last year, but this year would be entering into 41 years.
Yeah, fantastic.
So one of the things that we would have is, I believe, is agent growth and development.
Yeah.
And of course, that falls under exactly RISE, right? You see the word RISE, right? Because we always believe that training and development is a very important aspect of not only an agent's life, but just an individual's life,
Definitely.
right? Whether you are an agent, you are a staff, you're in management, you're in a leadership position. I think as an individual, it is always good to have a growth mindset, even for yourself as an individual. So that's something that I believe that Reapfield has, right? Agent growth and development, whereby we have programs, we have training, we have different things in place to really help you not only as an agent in the business, but also help you as an individual in life. Yeah. So that's definitely one of them. I think the second thing that we've been trying to establish very aggressively is also on the area of technology integration, right? Because I think as we do business these days, agents no longer can only depend on flyers and banners, but or your buku 555, right? Buku 555, that's what people call it last time, right? But nowadays it's handphones, whether it's Android or iPhone, right? Social media, how do you generate leads from that? Property portals, and of course, in this day and age, AI, right? ChatGPT, Gemini. I think like all these are evolving, ever evolving, and we always have an introduction of new technology.
Great.
So I think part of what Reapfield has been also doing is to see what is out there, what is the trend, what helps and aids the agent to do business better, and how do we integrate it in our system, and how do we ensure that the tools and the systems that we're using is working and it is really helping the agents to do their business better.
Fantastic. I think that's really, really wonderful. You touched on the topic of culture and standing out in this area. If you could summarize it into one word, which would be a challenge, I'm sure, culture, value that we have here in Reapfield, what would it be?
Can you give me 2 words?
2 words, sure.
One word.
I'll give you a discount.
Okay. Yeah. Or it can be one word but with a hyphen there to make it one word, right? I think what comes to my mind very strongly is relationship first. I think that is something that has taken place even at the start when the founder first started Reapfield. I think that has always been how he has done business, whereby he chooses to put relationship first above transaction.
Fantastic.
Although we're not perfect in it, but I think at the heart of it, that's how we try to build our business, right? Whereby to us, this is a relationship business, right? When you meet your clients, when you deal with vendors, even internally among our staff, it is really about the relationship that we have.
Yes.
And we try to, we try to look at this as, hey, we're doing business together. And one of our value systems in the Y4C2Ts, right, is win-win or no deal. And that slogan or that phrase actually applies to everyone and anyone, whether you're dealing with a client, even when we're dealing with a vendor or in relationship with a vendor, or a partnership with someone like iProperty, we are always asking ourselves, how do we come into a relationship with them whereby it's a win for them and it's also a win for us, so that together we're actually in this business and we can say that, hey, you know what, we're all doing business that is worth living for.
That's wonderful. So, we do have an audience in the room, and the audience have taken the opportunity to ask a few questions, which is great. And one of the questions that's come up, which is in line with our last question, actually, is an interesting one. So it's, what are the top 3 priorities for Reapfield, and how do you envision them in the next 5 years?
Wow, that's like a two questions in one
it's
question.
It's a bit
This person
loaded.
is a very smart person. Okay, so let me address the first question, whereby it is, what are our top priorities in Reapfield, right? Okay. So I will summarize it again. I think I have mentioned it in the last couple of questions that you have asked. One of it is definitely agent growth and development. And these are some of the things that we are looking at that will fall under RISE. I think if you all come for State of Company next week, you will find out a little bit more what are some things that actually is a part of RISE, because RISE comprises of so many different segments, right? And RISE Ruang is just one of it. And of course, I know more because I've had the privilege of journeying with Caleb and kind of like discussing about this. But definitely agent growth and development is one, because this is very much an agent's business, right? So definitely our heart is to see how we can continuously input into the life of the agent and to see how we can help them increase their productivity through some of the things that we're doing in RISE, right? So that would be one. The second thing is that we are continuously looking into how we can further integrate technology. That's always in an innovation stage, I believe. And I think the good thing about that is we do not need to reinvent the wheel, which means that I don't need to build things from scratch. I think the great thing about being in partnership with Keller Williams is that we have the systems that comes from them, and they are also always innovating. They are also always improving, and we're very happy when we hear about things like they're going to get into a partnership with Canva. We get to use, Gemini
Gemini
Pro for
Pro, yeah.
free, right? Like these are exciting things because
Definitely.
these tools are the tools that agents are using,
Yes.
right? And to hear that, wow, we're in partnership with them. What does that mean, right? That means more value for the agents, perhaps at a lower cost
Yes.
or even FOC. And I think when agents hear free of charge, right, they are like,
Straight away.
yeah, yeah. So technology integration definitely is something that will always be innovating along the way.
Yes.
And we're continuously seeing what else can we do, what else can we bring into, and which other third party that we can work with that will help boost in the area of technology so that agents are able to have multiple tools that they can use at their fingertips. Yeah. So that would be the second
one. Yeah.
I think that the third one is definitely we are looking to see how we can continuously improve in our standards. I think that in this industry, being seen as a professional real estate negotiator or agent is very important.
Yeah.
And I would like to believe that Reapfield is a place whereby we are able to set a certain precedence and standard whereby people or your clients, right, will be able to look at us and say, hey, I trust this company because they are Reapfield, right? And they have shown that all their agents and the services that they provide are of a certain standard, and there's no question about it. So those would be the three things.
That's great. You answered that really well. And the second half of the question is, how do you envision things to be in the next 5 years?
So I think that in the next 5 years, obviously as a company, there's always a desire to grow, right? But what we believe is that when we focus on agent growth and development, as well as technology integration and a continuous keeping to the bar of a certain standards, we believe that in itself will attract agents to join us. Right? It will attract people to want to be a part of this company because of the quality that they see comes out from there. Quantity is great. And I think in this day and age, a lot of companies play the quantity game, right? That's very normal. We see that very often. But I think in this race, I personally feel that quantity is not everything, and that quality is very important as well. So building deep, right? And I think that if we build deep, the heart of it is that we are able to last and go on for another 40 years. So that's obviously something that we want.
Fantastic. And that's we look forward to that 100%. Another question that's come in, which is a slightly more personal one, is what has been your biggest challenge in this business for the past how many years you've been with us?
Right. So interestingly, we talked about how, part of the culture is people first, or relationship first. But one of the challenge and the struggle is also people, right? And unfortunately, that is something that cannot be avoided, right? Because everyone's very different. We all come with our unique personalities, eccentricities. Everyone have their own weaknesses and own strengths as well. And I think in this journey of a real estate, we deal a lot with people. So although that has been a greatest joy, sometimes I really go back and like, wow, you feel that sense of satisfaction and joy in relating to people. But sometimes that can be a challenge as well, because we are in very challenging situations, difficult situations, whereby the pride is there, the ego is there, even for myself as well, right? So that has definitely been one of the greatest challenge, because it's unpredictable how people respond, what they say, how they are. It's unpredictable, and sometimes it's not something that I can control or the company can control. But this is part and parcel of the business. I do believe so.
And I suppose as a bit of a landing point, tying into what you've already shared with culture and all that, people first, being relational, that is who we are. And sometimes that also plays a part in the solution as to challenges with people and different things that are happening. If you listen to Christine's answer, she mentioned the SOC that's happening. We're currently recording this episode in the month of July, so she's referring to SOC that's happening really soon. You'll be watching this in the month of August, so you'll still enjoy the conversation and it'll be fantastic. But Christine, if I could just wrap it up and just get you to share just a quick 1 minute or one-liner, whatever you choose, as a bit of an encouragement to the agents and to the team, the incredible team that we have here in Reapfield, what would it be? Ready?
Ready? Yes.
Go for it.
Yes. Right. So I think my encouragement for the agents is to continue to be consistent in what you are already doing, and for those of you who wants or have the desire to grow, I will encourage you to be a part of a community. I think that's something that we also have in Reapfield, whereby we really want to see how people can collaborate with each other rather than seeing each other as competition. So I like to frame this in terms of community over competition. I think outside it's already a dog-eat-dog world.
Yep, definitely.
But here, what I would like to see is that we don't see each other as a dog-eat-dog world, but we see each other as a people that we can journey with together, so that we don't have to say that, wow, being in real estate is a lonely journey, because it doesn't need to be a lonely journey. So that's my heart, whereby I want to encourage, if you're a solo agent, if you feel a bit lost, you feel that, hey, you know what, I've been in this industry for quite a while, I probably hit a certain plateau, I'm a bit stagnant, which happens in the life of a realtor, right? But don't do this alone, right? Come to the office, seek help, talk to us, talk to Joanne, talk to I Ching, say, hey Caleb, can I meet with you, right? Come and find us and see what we can do together, because we're always open to journey together. And my hope is that everybody will feel a sense of community in being a part of this business as they move forward.
That's fantastic. What a great way to land this. I always say that Christine at the moment doesn't have an official office space, but her doors are always open to conversations.
Literally. Always
open to conversations. Christine, thank you so much, and we've really enjoyed the conversation with you. And I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Conversation with Christine Ong, our OP right here in Reapfield. Do join us for next month's edition. Exciting things to come. And I hope that you will enjoy the journey with us. But that's all for episode number 2 of RISE Ruang, where we have conversations around culture, community, and creativity. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you. Bye.